A lot of listings or properties for sale are sitting on the market and they're not selling, but it's not equal everywhere. Let's talk about where it's happening more, and let's also talk about what to expect next, because not only is it a tale of two markets, it's also a tale of active listings, those resales, those regular homes that you and I see, and new construction. There's a story there. Let's jump right into this. Recently, there was this great article by Redfin that I want to break down. It says U.S. home sellers are sitting on nearly $700 billion worth of listings. And that's crazy to me, because if you read the details, which I'm going to show you a couple of graphs that I think will surprise you. Number one, here are the details. More than $330 billion worth of listings have been sitting on the market for 60 days or more. And what happens is when properties sit on the market for a longer period of time, specifically 5 months or longer, because 5 months is the average in a normal market, believe it or not, right? But once it starts getting to 60 days and 90 days, what happens is the consumer, the buyer, goes and says, well, what's wrong with that property? Why is it still on the market? So it's causing sellers to think, okay, well, I guess my home's not going to sell for the price that I thought. Maybe I need to be more realistic in the current market and drop the price. So this is why that's important. And if you want to come with me as we scroll down to the bottom here, it says the total value of the stale inventory, which we went over, was $331 billion, which accounts for nearly half of the dollar value of all inventory. That's up, here's the key, that's up 20.5% year over year. Now, of course, this is just Redfin data, but you can take a look here. I'm going to zoom into this so you can take a look at it with me. Here is the graph. You could see in 2020, inventory dropped dramatically. And when everything was spiking, all of those multiple offers in every state, that was about 2022. And then it started going up, creeping up slowly, dipped down. And now we're right about here. So I want you to keep an eye on this market, because it could change. It could change up and down depending on interest rates, right? So let me zoom back out, and I want you to take a look at one other graph with me, because it's important. 44% of listings are sitting on the market for 60 days or more, which we went over. I want you to take a look at, in comparison to the rest of the market, how often do the majority, or almost majority, 44%, how often do they typically sit on the market for 60 days or longer, right? And you can take a look here. We're about right here, right? And these are the peaks. These are the ups and downs. Every year we go through the same periods, but it's a little different. You can see the low. Now it's starting to creep up to be more like 2019, 2018. But here's the thing. Not every market is the same. And this is just resale market, Zillow. Now, I just showed you Redfin. I want you to take a look at Zillow, and I want you to know that the way they collect data and the way that they interpret data is different. And if I go to realtor.com, it's slightly different. This is why I'm showing you different maps so that you understand and get a better idea of what to look for. Because the previous one says, look, inventory is up crazy, but it doesn't give me specifics. It just shows me a graph. Now, this tells a different story. Same month, April 2025. You're looking at here's the legend on the top left. You're looking at different colors. I want you to focus more on the red and rosy red. Is that pink? I guess that's pink, salmon. And darker blue, light blue. Those are the main ones. And then I guess purple, but we're going to see purple in the middle. You see the dark reds? The dark reds are all the Northeast. And that means it's absolutely doing great for the most part. It's healthy. And in some cases, it's more than healthy. There are multiple offers. But even in between here, you're going to see little areas that are a little purple, meaning it's a normal market, and even like one little blue dot there, right? These are the major metro areas according to Zillow. Now, if you want to scroll down, you see Florida, and the majority of the South is struggling in the sense that there's a lot of inventory. So when you go back and you take a look at Redfin's data and says, hey, we've got this many homes sitting on the market for 60 days or more, where do you think that most of them are based on the map, right? It's going to be over here, of course. Now you shift over a little bit over to the West Coast, and the West Coast, believe it or not, and I call the West Coast just these 3 states, even though I'm pretty sure the rest are too. Outside of Arizona, we're looking like it's a pretty healthy seller's market, right? And I think it's more balanced. I'm out here in this market, so I can tell you. But even in an area like Northern California, where you have red hot areas, you still have areas that are like lighter blue, which are buyers markets. So you have to pay attention to all the details. And more importantly, there's another story that's not being told here, and that's new construction. And with new construction, there are areas that have a lot more new construction than other areas. And that's why I need to show you this. This is going to HousingWire, and you can take a look at the details here. New construction data from March. So this is not April like the other ones, but still good data. You take a look at Texas and Florida are definitely leading the way on this chart. You could see Houston, Texas, Dallas, Texas, 1 and 2. New construction sales, 1,000. I got a little excited there. It's 1,314. Dallas, 741. And then New York, but New York has demand, as you saw on the map, so there's no problem. Anytime you see that there's less demand, building more where there's less demand causes a problem. And we are starting to see that, right? And I'll show you one next graph or map, and you'll see, got it. But let's round this up. You've got Texas, Houston, Texas, Dallas. You go down, you got Austin, Texas, and then I think you've got, did I miss San Antonio, or is it down below somewhere? San Antonio towards the bottom, right? And let's just round up the top ones. You've got Texas, New York, Florida, Georgia, Arizona, North Carolina, Florida, Texas, LA, California, DC, and you got a little bit more Texas. What I want to show you is that the majority of these that are being built out are in that southeast, south area. And that's important because the more we're adding to those areas where things aren't selling, the more that they're going to have to discount those homes. And now they're competing with the resale homes, those older homes, which means prices are coming down in those areas. And a lot of people are struggling still with insurance and being able to afford these because of the interest rates. Now, let me show you the last one to this so we can wrap up. But if you take a look at this is new home market conditions. And this is according to John Burns Real Estate Consulting. Just follow the legend with me. The legend is this: orange is slow, yellow is normal, and green is strong. Now, you see where it's slow, again, the South, right? Where is it normal? Well, you've got normal areas all throughout the Northeast, maybe some pockets of slow. And then you've got super strong new construction in Southern California and parts of, Illinois, maybe? Indiana? Can't tell. Look, I didn't do too well in geography. All right, so now you've got this map. And now I want you to think, what did the other map look like in comparison? And you've got to say, well, I understand. If you overlap them, I see the problem. And when builders are building more or finally wrapping up those stages of building and now they're ready to sell, of course, they're going to have challenges. So I want you to watch these markets. I want you to watch your market I want you to understand that every market is different. In fact, heading into summer, prices should be going up in every area, but that's not happening. And it's spring. That means some areas in the fall are going to have some situations, and I don't know where we'll be because I don't know where the mortgage rates will be. But if it continues this way, fall and winter are not going to be great months for those states that are suffering now, those areas that are suffering now. Anyway, follow me for more. Share this with somebody to enhance their knowledge. Hopefully, I showed you something new that you enjoyed. Subscribe, put that little alarm on, the little bell that lets you know when I get a new video out. Have a nice day.